3 new cases in Jigawa, 2 each in Ogun and Akwa Ibom State, and 1 each in Niger, Bauchi, and Zamfara State. However, so far, 71,357 persons have recovered and have been discharged, while the death toll now stands at 1,264. Still talking health, the Taraba State government has appealed to the Association of Resident Doctors in the state to suspend their industrial action, asking them to place the interest of patients first. While lamenting the timing of the strike, the State Commissioner for Health, Innocent Vakai, also raised an alarm over an increase in community transmission of COVID-19 in the state. The appeal is coming 5 days after the Association of Resident Doctors embarked on a strike due to the non-implementation of a memorandum of understanding signed by both parties.
I'm appealing to the resident doctors that the period at which they embark on this strike, which is the Yuletide period, the festive period of Christmas, and as we are preparing for New Year, is not the right time to go on industrial action. We are therefore, on behalf of government, appealing to them to call off their strike so that we can engage in a meaningful negotiation. And I believe we are going to have an amicable solution to this, because we must put the interests of the patient first in terms of saving humanity. And more so, we are going to the second wave of COVID-19 as evidenced by the increase in number of cases in our home state, Taraba, other states of the Federation, and globally. So there is need, therefore, for us to put all hands on deck to ensure that we salvage humanity.
Now, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says efforts are in top gear to address the gridlock at the Apapa axis of Lagos metropolis. The governor, during an on-the-spot assessment of the situation in the area, disclosed that plans were on by the state government to take over from the Presidential Task Force, which is currently in charge. Governor Sanwo-Olu explained that even though the port belonged to the federal government, the state government would have to come in fully to address the problem to bring about a better solution to the gridlock. Sanwo-Olu, who lamented the long hours it takes for goods to be lifted from the port, expressed that his visit would give another opportunity to resolve the issue identified by the stakeholders.
This trip will not say that we have all the solutions, but we've seen the process again. We've seen that we can improve this process. We've identified the various stakeholders. You saw that even the stakeholders that are agreeing, are quarreling amongst themselves. So we need to also go back and see how we can normalize those things and how we can bring about, especially these big people in the offices, and understand that we have a problem here and we need to be able to solve it. And on the second observation around the badge operation, especially the illegal one, well, they are here, they are listening. The Commissioner for Transport is here. The Commissioner for Works is here. They're listening. I mean, after of this place, by tomorrow, I'm sure they'll go and check out, the bridge you talked about at Festac. Right, yeah. But I also have a problem, because these are also federal assets that, so I've seen people where we've arrested people before, and they said to you that they have license to operate badge.
Some security matters now. The Imo State Police Command has confirmed the kidnap of the auxiliary bishop of Owerri Archdiocese in Imo State, Bishop Chikwe Moses. The Imo State Police Public Relations Officer Orlando Ikoku said today that the Commissioner of Police in the state, Isaac Akimoede, has activated the command's quick intervention team and the anti-kidnapping unit to move into the matter with a view to rescue the bishop and possibly arrest the hoodlums. According to the Archbishop of Owerri, Archbishop Anthony Obinna, the priest was kidnapped on Sunday night, and since then there has not been any form of communication from the kidnappers. The kidnapped bishop is expected to take over from Archbishop Anthony Obinna, who has just retired. Now, the leadership of the House of Representatives has disclosed that it never apologized to anyone, including President Muhammadu Buhari, for exercising its constitutional responsibility to the Nigerian citizens. Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, gave the position via a statement titled Clarification and Apology to the Presidency, dismissed the report in its entirety. Honorable Kalu expressed dismay over the content of the report, stressed that the Presidency had at no point demanded an apology from the House as well. The House had earlier this month invited the President to brief it on the issue of insecurity in the country and explain what his administration was doing about it. Mr. Kalu in the statement said it is the belief of the House that President Muhammadu Buhari subscribes to the ethos and ideals of democracy. You've been listening to Global Updates on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. Still to come on the foreign scene, new COVID-19 variant continues to spread as India records first cases. In sports, Man United boss wary of threats posed by Wolverhampton Wanderers. Stay with Fresh 107.9 FM. Many thanks for staying with us on the foreign scene now. 6 cases of the more contagious variant of COVID-19, first identified in the UK, have been confirmed in India. Officials said earlier today that the 6 individuals who returned from the UK are being kept in isolation. India joined a list of other countries last week in suspending flights to and from the UK. Experts say the new variant is considerably more transmissible than previous strains, but not necessarily any more dangerous. With more than 10 million confirmed cases so far, India has the second highest caseload in the world after the United States. Meanwhile, Australia says it could deport backpackers who flout COVID rules after hundreds were seen partying at a Sydney beach on Christmas Day. Videos of the gathering shared on social media showed odds of young revelers singing and dancing at Bronte Beach in breach of regulations. The event sparked anger and officials called it absolutely appalling, especially with Sydney battling a new outbreak after months of no local cases. Earlier today, Australia's Immigration Minister Alex Hawke said he had been shocked by the scenes at Bronte Beach and issued a warning to other visitors. The virus's reappearance a week before Christmas sparked a swift reintroduction of restrictions in the city, including clampdowns on holiday gatherings and a lockdown at the worst affected region, the northern beaches. Away from COVID now, the U.S. President-elect Joe Biden has accused the U.S. Defense Department of irresponsibility for failing to give his team the information it needs for the transition of power. He said his team had encountered obstruction from the political leadership. Mr. Biden also claimed that agencies critical to the U.S. security had suffered enormous damage under President Donald Trump.
For some agencies, our teams received exemplary cooperation from the career staff in those agencies. From others, most notably the Department of Defense, we encountered obstruction from the political leadership of that department. And the truth is, many of the agencies that are critical to our security have incurred enormous damage. Many of them have been hollowed out in personnel, capacity, and in morale, in the policy processes that have atrophied or have been sidelined, in the despair of our alliances and the disrepair of those alliances.
Reacting to Mr. Biden's claims, a Pentagon spokesman said it had been completely transparent. Mr. Biden takes office on January the 20th, although President Trump has refused to concede. In business, the European Union and China are close to reaching a long-awaited business investment deal. According to media reports, the pact, expected to be finalized this week, will give EU firms better access to the Chinese market and improve competition conditions. Talks on the investment deal began in 2014 but have been stuck for years over a number of issues. But officials said rising trade tensions between the US and China may have helped change the Chinese position. The deal comes hot on the heels of the UK's post-Brexit trade agreement with the EU, which was announced on December the 24th. According to multiple reports, the deal would open up China's manufacturing sector to EU companies as well as construction, advertising, air transport, and telecoms. In sports, Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says his players are in good spirits since their thumping win over Leeds United in their last home game. He, however, says they must be cautious when they host a quality Wolverhampton Wanderers side later tonight. United beat Leeds in what many call their best performance of the season so far by 6-2. But Solskjaer said United, who have since defeated Everton in the League Cup and drew against Leicester in the Premier League, must avoid being too open against Wolves.
Yeah, of course, it's when the last game you played at Old Trafford gave you 6 goals. I'm sure the boys will look forward to it. It gave us confidence, that performance. It also gave us a little gauge on how fit we are, that we could match them fitness-wise. So we know that we have loads of games in a short space of time, but Wolverhampton, they've got even shorter turnaround this time, but they haven't had a midweek game.
Well, Gunnar Solskjaer speaking ahead of tonight's Premier League game between Man United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Just before we end the global updates on Fresh 107.9 FM at Abeokuta, here's a recap of the main stories. We told you that Nigeria has recorded 10 new COVID-19 deaths in the last 24 hours, as well as 397 new infections. We also told you on the foreign scene that India has become the latest country to report the new variant of the COVID-19 recently discovered in Britain. In sports, Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has won the side of the quality possessed by Wolverhampton Wanderers ahead of tonight's EPL clash between both sides. That's the global updates on Fresh 107.9 FM at Abeokuta. The news was edited by Omoyemi Adesoye. I'm Wale Bakari. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.
This is Fresh 107.9, where we keep you fresh all day. From the rock city of Nigeria. Rock city of Nigeria. This is Fresh 107.9.
Binaba Gurile ima feju tutoni gbogbo eyin okundun bankaje tele se ke ma gbene gori ota e ma fa ilakasi jamuku sigasi bikibi te ba ti ri kesiri pe pana re ku finfin ma gba pe tàbí firin lorin nílé epo àti gbogbo bi tani tafefe gaasi e ma kanalugbo e si ma dana